Hey, you wild ladies! My next guest is my husband, Dan Martell, and we are so stoked to share with you all of the cool things that we're doing right now, recording from Barcelona, Spain, that has to do with world schooling our kids and really double clicking on the help that we hired to come with us, our amazing house manager, educator, whatever she is, Kinsey. Most people think that delegating your home really means that you're going to be losing touch as a family and especially with your kids. But we've learned that the opposite is true and that the more that we can delegate, the more time we have as a family together as a couple and the more togetherness we grow as a result. Today, we're going to talk about exactly how we run our family, traveling the world, world schooling, educating the kids, and being more with them. And I do want you to stay to the very end because we double click on this cool concept that how we stay together, how we stay connected while traveling, and the filter we run every decision through. Please welcome the incredible Dan Martell.
What's up, beautiful?
Another episode of She Said, He Listened.
Yeah, she talked a lot. He said nothing.
He said, she said. And we are recording in this fabulous place in Barcelona, Spain.
We're in Spain.
We're in Spain. Hola, ¿cómo está? Yeah, and we are here to talk about this crazy adventure that we're on, this world schooling adventure, something you've been asking me to do for a decade.
Yeah, 10 years in the making, the longest sales job of my life.
Turns out he's actually not the best at sales.
Not very good.
I'm joking. And we're actually going to be answering some listener questions. People were curious about the why, the how, the who, the what behind this whole world schooling adventure.
Yeah, it was crazy. We put it out on Instagram and had a ton of people send us questions. So I know we spent a couple hours trying to sort through them, categorize them, and come up with some answers to help people get some clarity about how do you take the show on the road?
Because they say it's the dream.
That is the universal reply. When they go, what are you doing? We're traveling the world for a year with our kids. They go, that's the dream.
It is the dream. You know what I love about you and I, though, in doing this?
What's that?
Is you always share the highlight reel. And I share the behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. You're a professional at like, here's the 14 things that is not working for us. And I'm like, okay.
Well, there's more than that.
Yeah, there's always more.
But you should see my knees.
Yeah.
They're banged up.
This whole thing, everything that could have
stairs.
happened has happened. And we got some good stories to share.
It's so crazy. Yeah, I'm still kind of like pulsating from all the crazy adventures we've experienced in 2 weeks? We've only been on the road for just over 2 weeks now. And curious, how many countries have you been into in those 2 weeks?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to do 6 on Monday last minute. We decided to go to Poland.
Yeah. Well, you decided to go and said, hey, do you want to come?
I did, yeah.
And,
I was like, hey, do you? Would you be opposed to going to Poland?
Well, and we had somebody say, hey, Renee, are you free Monday and Tuesday? And I look at my calendar. I was like, well, I am free. So anyways, that's the cool thing about Europe. It's just so easy to get around from country to country. But you did this really cool supercar rally thing, which is the reason why we started in Prague.
Yeah.
Because it's like kind of a random place to start. Turned out to be a really epic city.
Yeah.
Really cool. Anyway, we should jump in.
I think we get right into it.
Okay, let's do it.
Give the people what they want.
Not a 10-year sell here. So I'm going to ask you a question that was submitted by a follower, a listener, and then you're going to ask me a question.
Yeah.
So this one's all around the decision on doing this. First of all, I don't even know how you came up with the idea to do this. You may have been inspired by somebody else, but you kept like pushing and pushing. And I said, no, it's not the time. Then I just realized one day, never going to be the right time. But why are we world schooling our kids? What values and outcomes are we optimizing for?
Well, it's a beautiful question. I want to go back to why people try to build a business in the first place. I think everybody outside thinks it's about the money. It's not about the money. It's about the options. The options provide freedom. And what I've seen is just a lot of people don't take advantage of the freedom. So a lot of people have money. A lot of people don't have freedom. The whole point, my assumption, why you started a business was to have the money to have the freedom. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Like, why'd you start a business? To make money?
Wow, because I like what I did and I want to do it my way.
Exactly, the freedom. So that's why, like, a lot of people, I think, struggle with that. So that was the motivation. I've seen families write books about this topic. You know, there was a family that sailed around the world. They wrote a whole book about it. I've met several people that have done it. I feel like we were trying to do this maybe 3 or 4 years ago, or we had like interviewed some people and like tried to figure out the strategy. But to me, I think, like, if you go to the second part of that question, like, I've always thought to myself, if I'm going to do the work to have the freedom, I want to take advantage of the freedom. The challenge is that obviously I wanted you to come with me.
That would be nice.
Yes. Yeah. And so for 10 years, you were not comfortable with the idea. And I just kept working at it and working at it and working at it in small trips and longer trips, and had support and tried different things and put our kids into school and tried homeschool and like moved to Kelowna. Like I've kept iterating. And then finally you said yes. In regards to the values, my 2 cents on being a parent. My only job right now is to get my kids ready to be independent young men. I've got 2 boys. That's my job. Get them ready to face the world. I think the number one way you can build character, because that's the way I look at it, is we want to build character, is to allow your kids to struggle, right? I know growing up, chaos was the North Star for me, but that chaos created the character traits of me being able to deal with a ton of uncertainty and deal with a lot of challenges and not being, disrupted just because something bad happens. So my core philosophy for the kids is let them do the stuff. And travel's always been like that for us, but this is another level. Like, there's one thing about giving your kids a passport and going into an airport and saying, figure out how to get to the gate, which our kids can do. I'm talking check-in, security, find the gates, go to the bathroom, get their water bottles. Like, they've done it all. They got their own little travel backpacks. They could do that. They've been able to do that for years.
Yeah.
This is different.
Mm-hmm.
Landing in a new country, not even speaking the language, figuring out how to get transport there, figuring out how to get the keys. I mean, I watched Noah this morning. There's 3 keys to get into this building. Okay. We went out and we came back. And he had to navigate figuring out which key goes in what hole and which way should he turn, the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, just those little things that I think parents underestimate how much they do for their kids, that if you just let them, they'll struggle.
I've got a really great example of seeing this work come to fruition, because you took Noah to London and I took Max to Paris. So we each had like a week date with our kids, and we were at breakfast or something, and the bill was taking forever to come. And we weren't in a rush. So I was like, hey, Max, no, just let it be. And at one point he goes, you know what, Mama, I'm going to go and get our server and tell him we need to pay the check. And I watched, he just got up and did it. And he goes, excuse me, we would like to have the bill, please. And it floored me. And I was like, oh, here's one of those moments. Like, this is why we're doing this, to build that confidence. Because I don't even now, sometimes I'm a little bit intimidated asking for the bill. He just got up and did it.
Yeah. They're building those traits, right? And we're using the travel as the classroom. Like the other day when I was in London, I brought Noah to Hamilton, the play.
Yeah.
Number 1 play in the history of all plays, gross $1 billion+, like famous. I wanted to go. He wanted to go to a play. He didn't care, but we turned it into a quiz. So essentially he had to watch the play through the lens of knowing there was a test as soon as we walked out. And if he got 4 out of 5 right, that he got an extra 30 minutes of screen time. And let me tell you, my kid loves his freaking screen time. So he came out ready to go. We weren't even out the back door. And he's like, okay, ask me the questions. And that little dude, 12 years old, not only stood awake, because I almost passed out. I mean, It's 10:30 at night at this point. He got 5 out of 5 right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he knew everything.
Did you even know the answers to those questions?
No, I would have got probably 3 out of 5. I was very impressed. But he because he knew there was a quiz, he borrowed somebody's phone and was taking notes. He was just writing down names and things and dates. And so I don't know. I think like using the world as our canvas to teach our kids, that's what we call worldschooling, is a really cool concept. And it's all under the philosophy of letting your kids take risks in a safe way.
Yeah.
Like, we're not saying run down to the street in a foreign country where you could be kidnapped and go play with kids. We're there with them, but we're letting them deal with the hard, and it's shaping them. And I think that's the coolest part.
It's super cool. I remember walking across the Charles Bridge in Prague with Noah one morning on our hunt for waffles. And I said, "Hey, Noah, fun fact, this bridge, guess how old it is?" He's like, "I don't know, 200 years old." And I said, "It's almost 700 years old."
That's wild.
And that's exactly what he said. And then he's like, "Well, how is it still standing?" And I said, "Well, the bridge is built off arches, which ends up being the strongest architectural foundation for any building." So we learned about how arches are very strong. And I'm like, the more you push down on it, the stronger it gets. So it's just interesting. And these moments you can use any point in your life. But when we're really intentional about the world being the classroom, then you see there's opportunities to learn and connect anywhere you go.
It's cool. Yeah. I mean, the other side benefit is that I think when people go like, what's been your favorite part so far? And yes, I did a crazy car rally where I spent 2 days racing on a track in Germany, driving on a highway, the Autobahn, with no speed limit, going 250
Your
kilometers an
dream.
hour. I mean, it was, all the things are cool. Some of my favorite moments was riding the tube in London with Noah and having him hold my hand, or doing homework with Max yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, these are things that in a normal day, we wouldn't have the time to stop, slow down, somebody else to drive somebody somewhere. Is like, it's been really beautiful. I want to switch to you because the questions that kept coming up in my Instagram was, how did you decide on the schooling structure, and how does the curriculum work for educating our kids?
Oh man, this question about curriculum. We started by thinking we're going to do this and create our own, like full homeschool, full create our own curriculum. And then we just realized that's not what we want to do, because we were introduced to this program called Alpha School, and they just came out of beta for their Alpha Anywhere program. So essentially it's a school platform that is, the back end is really run on AI. And this is new, so we're still figuring out
It's brand new.
and
We're
the
like
cadence.
in the beta.
Yeah, the cadence of it for the kids, and there's still tech glitches. Like, there's stuff that we're all trying to navigate. But when we saw what they were doing in the US, we thought 100% we got to try this out. So we're using the Alpha School program. We just wanted something that was already created, a structure. It's super smart how it works in terms of understanding a child's comprehension. So they're being taught not based on the year they were born, but based on where they are academically. So if they're, in grade 8, but they have a grade 3 reading comprehension, then that's where they're going to focus. So, coming into school next year, they'll be at their grade level in all subjects. That was the point. And we don't have to worry about that, because that's not where we're gifted in creating educational curriculums. We're gifted in booking a plane ticket and going exploring the world. So that was a classroom that we were creating for them. So also what else did you ask about this?
Well, just like, how do we decide on those in the curriculum, and how does that look? Like, day to day, what do they do?
So we keep we use the terms like, get your backpacks ready, the school bus is coming, as a kind of a joke, but also it's like the morning bell. It's like, yes, we can coast, and we have, when we're traveling and jet lagged, but the days are 9 a.m. till noon. Those are the learning blocks. So they earn their fun activities in the afternoon based on how much work they can get done in that time. Quite simple. And they pack their bags, and you took Max yesterday with you, and today you took Noah, and I've taken Max, and we kind of swap. But there's learning spaces in our Airbnbs as well. And sometimes we'll go to coffee shops. It really depends.
How do you think about, like, people always ask about their social activities, their physical activities?
Oh, yeah.
Like, how does all that stuff happen?
Oh, well, it's all about being creative and thinking, how can we create that, what's important to them while we're traveling the world. They love playing soccer, so football. So we were in Prague, as an example, we found a little soccer training academy where they could go and join a couple times a week for the week we're there. And then in Barcelona, we're uncovering opportunities as well. But it's like you and I put the emphasis on our health in the morning in terms of going to the gym. We make sure that they get the equivalent in physical fitness at some point during the day.
Totally.
Like today, I think they're going to play soccer on the beach.
We're going to the beach, yeah.
Or they go to the park. Or they're doing stuff like
Oh,
laser
the friggin',
tag.
what was that? Activate or the glow floor thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I went to this thing with Noah. Keep forgetting which kid I had in London. It's called Activate at the O2. And I didn't wear like workout gear. It was a full on, we're jumping lasers. We got these dance floors. It was a full on kids activity. But
yeah, so we have a checklist for the boys because
they have to do essentially 2 hours of physical activity every day, outdoor
so
doing
it's like,
stuff.
did they sleep well? Are they hydrated? Do they have the right nutrition? Have they had their outdoor time?
Yeah.
Even if it's pissing rain, like we're walking the streets. We're in Europe. We're walking the streets, getting our steps in, playing outside. The training academy they did in Prague, the first day was 2 hours long and it was pouring rain out. And they still played. They still did it. So in terms of social life, it's meeting up with other friends that have kids. It's putting them in these training academies. The thing about social life.
Yeah, talk about the training academy because that's like something you did in Prague that I thought was really cool, where the kids are.
So we found this training academy that is run by a man who works within like the French schools in Prague. So these kids are actually French but speak English, and I don't even know that they speak any Czech, but they live in Prague. And the kids were so sweet. They just, absorbed Max and Noah really quickly. Had we been staying there longer, I probably would have gotten a parent's phone number to hang out because they're all watching and we chatted. It's so easy. And what I wanted to say too, in terms of like the social life, yes, it's important to have buddies. But when we look at the socialization of a child in North America, we tend to default to their like inner circle of friends, the same 3 or 4 people that they hang out with all the time, without actually appreciating the socialization of being amongst a bunch of strangers.
Yeah.
Airports, coffee shops, like in these training academies, which in my mind is probably harder to do. And they're exposed to it every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they miss their buddies, but they still have a chance to talk with them, connect with them. And we're only gone for like the school year.
Yeah.
It's like they're never going to see them again.
No, it's not like we moved cities and that's that.
No.
I know that there was some concerns about the travel. So that's the next question I get asked is like, what reservations did you have about doing this trip and taking it on the road?
Well, first of all, how about the you and I dynamic too? Because I'm introverted homebody and you're an extroverted and you like coming
traveler.
home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a much bigger stretch for me, which I think was the biggest pushback initially when you're like, hey, let's go and do this. And also like, this is really an experiment for us because we've been at, one place for a week and then another place for 5 days. And now we're here for 2 weeks. It is a lot. But we understand that when we looked at the 30,000-foot view of our travel schedule, things can shift if we wanted to. We can move, we can stay longer, we can leave earlier, which we did. Knowing that we can navigate this however we want was the thing that made it easy for me to say yes. But really what it comes down to is, hands down, is buffering travel days. And like for the kids is not expecting them to have a learning day during a travel day, or if there's any sort of jet lag that they need to recover from, and sticking to a routine. Like taking the routine that works from home and just bringing it with you wherever you go.
Yeah,
Why
our kids
change it?
thrive on routine.
Yeah. They need to know what's happening, where they're going, what they're doing in order for them to like, I guess, energetically be able to show up to the activities at the right level. Other reservation for me was like access to some of the resources that helped us back home. If it was like doctors or friends or, like if I needed an afternoon alone, can I drop them off at a buddy's house? But we've created our own rhythm. Plus we have help to come with us, our educator, Kinsey.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a lot about how we found her and how we decided on her a little bit later.
I think the little bit later is now, though.
No. Oh, maybe it is now. Yeah, I'm looking at my questions. The reservations, I just want to come back to this too. I was scared about being with you full time because I know what helped us have an epic relationship, an epic marriage was the cadence of how you would travel enough. Like you were gone, I don't know, let's say a week, a month. And I actually enjoyed that time away because I loved being alone and I loved when you came home because we had more to talk about. So I was so nervous that being with you full time would just annoy me.
So what have you learned about that? Because if anything, you've not seen me and you got
But
upset at me for
oh,
traveling so much.
well, I
Like
mean,
this is
this
what's
is
funny is you're like, oh, I'm worried we're gonna spend all this time together, and I'm like, cool. And then the first thing you say to me is,
well, it's because I essentially traveled by myself with the kids.
I
Kinsey was
know,
there,
flights
but
canceled, blah blah
there was a
blah. Our
lot.
educator was there. Like, it's just what I find interesting is
But
there's
no,
all
no,
these
that wasn't but to
perceptions.
answer your question, that wasn't the missing you. It was the missing the parent that helps with the kids.
Yeah,
It was missing the help
no, I get that
from
then.
you.
Yeah,
And that's what I missed.
yeah. But even like we're here for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I've got stuff I'm doing, meeting with people.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we're staying in the same space.
We
Like
are.
half the time we're trying to figure out where each other are.
Well, and this is what I love. It's just that, like last night before we went to this flamenco thing, you're like, I'm going to take the kids to get a foot massage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, peace. Like, loved it. Because then I got that little bit of alone time and got ready to go. But like the biggest reservations was I was like, is this going to work? I felt like I'm stuck to this. We're going to be gone for 8-9 months. Can I actually do this? Worried about the cultural differences too. Like, can I actually deal with the food and the lack of things that we're used to? Turns out you can get anything you want anywhere.
Anything, anywhere. Chicken is
Yeah.
chicken. Gyms are
Yeah.
gyms. Coffee is coffee.
And the supplements in Europe are better than those in Canada too.
Yeah.
So bonus.
And I'm a big fan of just sticking to the rhythm so that,
Rhythm.
yeah.
Okay, let's talk about having this educator.
Yeah. It's a
with us.
big topic.
It's a hot topic.
Yes. Super privileged and we're lucky. Some people don't have the opportunity to bring somebody to support them and help them. And usually I think one parent does it. Both you and I, either one of us could have decided to play that role.
Yeah.
But we both have things that we're building and creating. So
I think that was the big thing for me. This is a perfect segue from Reservations into this was I did not want to be the one to homeschool the kids. We tried it when Max was in kindergarten and it did not work for me. I did not like it. So the big thing for me was, yeah, we can do this, but I'm not the one to be homeschooling the kids. And that's when you realized, okay, there's a little bit more that goes.
Well, it's not only that. I also am not taking a year off from work.
Well, yeah.
Like everybody's like, well, how are you going to run your companies? Watch me.
Yeah.
Like that's,
You have been.
yeah, no, that's, to
No
me,
problem.
it was not taking a break from life. It was doing life around the world. That's why it's called Worldschooling.
Okay. So, Dan, what is an educator in your home context? Is it a tutor? Is it a guide? How do they differ from a traditional teacher or a nanny?
Well, first off, I think people need to get on board with the idea of paying for help.
Ooh.
So right off the bat, most people have a hard time having anybody support them in their home, right? From cleaning to food to meal prep to errands to yard work or whatever, because they feel like I'm being lazy. Here's what I know. We have an unlimited budget for our education. Okay. You and I know this. Personal development, unlimited budget. Health, unlimited budget. So it's like when I thought of the educator, I thought, okay, it's not just an educator. Because I remember we were interviewing people that always asked me, well, what is the role? And I said, the best frame for you to consider this role is pretend like you're traveling with two boys around the world. And every once in a while you look over your shoulder and mom and dad are there, but you're responsible for them. We start with their health. Like, are they healthy? Are they sleeping? Are they fed? We then go to education, make sure that their mind is being properly nourished and they're getting the support they need. And then there's obviously the activities. And like, if the sleep is good and the health is good and the energy is good, then the education is good, their mind is good. And then the activities are obviously going to always fill in because there's no issues with that. Kids want to do that. That's what we wanted support on. right? So that you and I could still do what we love to do, which is nurture them and care for them and be with them. And the activity stuff is honestly where we spend most of our time. It's like everybody gets their work done in the morning. In the afternoon, we go on adventures.
Yeah.
And that was that role. And that to me, you know, was a big idea. I mean, it's crazy because like the other day, this core lesson in our family about like invest in yourself first. I watched Max buy his first online course. Okay. He wanted to learn how to be a better editor. He saw this ad show up in his feed. He showed it to me. What do you think? I told him, you know, my rule about education. You want to learn a new skill, but it was $50. So he took his own money, pulled out my credit card. I took it out of his bank account. He bought it. And right off the bat, he realized it was a bit of a scam.
How was it a scam?
Because the download that he bought was all stuff he already had. The guy just knew how to sell it and package it. And there was all this extra stuff that he was supposed to get that he didn't get. Then there was an upsell video, which is very traditional internet marketing. And guess what? I was there for it because I'm pumped that he learned, hey, maybe next time do a bit more research about the person. You didn't even search the course. You didn't see the reviews. You just saw an ad and he learned something about acquiring knowledge. Like that is actually a skill. Choosing the right book to read is a skill. He now learned buying a course is a skill and he's going to learn from it. So I don't know. I just think like a lot of parents don't invest in the infrastructure for their kids on the education side.
Yeah.
Think about space, where they work, the tools, the headphones, right?
Yeah.
You just fixed their headphones because it wasn't parent to know his laptop. Like all these little things to just get them ready and put in an environment to succeed.
Yeah, the environment's key.
That's where the money goes.
Yeah.
And if an educator is part of that, 100%.
Yeah, the people are part of the environment. It's that energy too.
Yeah. So that's a big idea.
So the big difference though, because we didn't just hire a teacher and took them out of public school, because Kinsey is our educator. That's Kinsey. She's come with us and she's different than a typical teacher or nanny. And how is she different?
Well, she's responsible for not only the kids' education, but also managing the travel, the transportation, the grocery stuff. Essentially, she's following the playbook that we've designed for her to like set things up as we travel.
It's like a house manager or me.
You know, I think the titles is a problem because I don't think a lot of people have ever done it this way.
No, there's no actual title for this role.
No, so I created it and it's just, you're the person.
The person.
You're just the person, all caps. And what is the person? Here's what the person
person
does. The person makes sure that this checklist is complete with the food. They make sure the transportation's there. And look, Kinsey has, you know, our assistant. She has support on the back end, but she's the boots on the ground with us because time zones is a real thing. 9-hour difference, 10-hour difference.
Oh,
like,
that's gnarly.
It's a real thing. So you need somebody physically here to deal with the issue. So I just don't think we could do it any other way. The question I got for you, Renee, that people were like super excited to know your answer was, how do you keep the parent-child bond primary when the educator's involved? Because it'd be easy for the parent to disconnect from the education or disconnect from the kids, you know, development. How do you see yourself kind of like keeping that bond?
Well, we're still the default. I want to be very clear about this, is that you and I are still raising our kids.
Incredibly. I spent the last 2 mornings with my kids doing their work.
So we're still there for their tough moments, for their good moments. We're there for all the celebrations. We've created such trust with them that when they're excited about something, they come to us first. When they're scared about something, they come to us first. The educator is really there to support the learning and like the house management stuff. When it comes to discipline, we set the rules, we set the boundaries. Yeah. We teach Kinsey how to deal with situations.
Escalation, conversations, words to use, not use.
Yeah, she's still
we've already done 2 family meetings. Like
she's like, hey, here's an issue happening. What do I do? It's like,
I got one of those today.
We're the family encyclopedia for her. We've created the rules. So it's very simple for us. That bond is still ours to nurture. You still put the boys to bed every night. And I still wake up with them every morning, make sure they have their stuff, they have their breakfast ready. Because I want to do that part and you want to do the nighttime part. You want to like kind of get their meadow report at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Which for me, I'm like tapped out by then. And you still have a little bit of energy for them, which is a very sweet relationship that you have with them. But that bond, I mean, the thing about having somebody like Kinsey with us allows us to deepen that bond with our kids. For you to be able to run your businesses, have a media team here in Barcelona, yet still be able.
Nobody knows that because we didn't introduce that.
Okay. Well, anyways, we're shooting in Barcelona and the team's here. And you still sat at that kitchen table right outside those doors with
my team, doing
no
his
any
homework.
team.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing their thing.
But it's cool because like we took the show on the road. I mean, I ran into you this morning. I think it was after the gym. You were like, I ran into Jen and Alexa, who are on my team. Then you met us in the street.
Yeah.
And it's just like the kids are with us. And it's been a really cool like experience of living in a city. I just want everybody to hear this. It's not easy, but that's the whole point. Like it was never meant to be easy. It was meant to shape our character. It was meant to teach us new lessons. Like I've had to change the way I lead teams because of the time zone issues.
Yeah.
Like these are all things that they just are what they are.
Off script, but in the moment where, because we're going to talk about resilience after, but in the moment where our literal, like, so you didn't fly with us to Europe. That our first flight.
Yeah, your flight to
of
meet
the
me.
Entire trip.
A 45-minute flight
was canceled.
Got canceled.
And I was like, is this foreshadowing? And I remember in those moments when the flight attendant was saying, we have to get off the plane. We don't know if it'll be fixed on time. I already knew I was going to miss the connection. And I was like, I just went into panic mode. And then I looked over and Max and Noah were looking at me. And it was that moment when I'm like, Renee, you have to lead them because they will mirror your feelings and energy right now if you're not calm.
Yeah, what did you post the other day that your kids don't love you the way you love them? They love
you the way you love yourself.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So in that moment, I was like,
they love themselves the way they see you love yourself. Yeah.
So we're at the front of the plane and I'm like, at this point, I don't even care if our luggage arrives to Europe. I just want to get there. So I called up our team and we were able to like figure something out. Big lesson in this moment too, and I attribute a lot of this to Kinsey, is the whole plane had to get to Vancouver. Flight was canceled eventually, and they were sending another flight from Vancouver. We're like, gosh, how long is this going to take? But there was, right next to it, the gate one over, there was another flight from the same airline leaving to go to Vancouver. And we were the only people that were super nice to the lady that was working the desk. And we're like, and we know this isn't on you. Here's our situation. Just let us know what we need to do, because even she was in a holding pattern. And we were kind and generous. And I happened to be walking back from filling up our water bottles because I was trying to figure out the plan with the boys. And she came out from behind the desk and said, hey, I actually have 4 seats for you guys if you're able to like get on this plane right now. The only 4 seats available, and I'm not offering this to anybody else. I go, what about our bags? She's like, I'll call down and they'll bring the bags over. So we were able to literally get on the next flight. We did miss our connecting flight. Didn't matter. We got to Vancouver. So the lesson was act quickly, be kind, and be the example your kids need to see in those moments of stress. Because this trip, we've bumped into every single roadblock we can so far. And we still keep going. And in that moment, when I was on the phone with our help, and I was like, what do we do with the flights? I'm like, well, we're still home in Kelowna. I can just pull the ripcord right now. You can say, we're not doing this Worldschooling. And I'm like, wait, this is the point. This is the point of doing this trip, of traveling the world, because this is the best lesson in life, is when you're faced with these crazy challenges and how you get through them, it makes everything else a hell of a lot easier.
But be honest, what % chance was there what was a worse % chance at any point in that experience where you almost canceled? Like what % of canceling was there?
It wasn't that big.
Wasn't that big?
No.
We were all worried.
Well, I was a little bit upset, but some logistical stuff,
But
but
like what? 20%, 30%, 50%?
I'd say less than 20%.
Okay. I literally thought
My
you're
head
not
went
coming.
there.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm going to Prague for my car rally. Come back. That's it. Like, it wasn't until you landed in Prague where everybody involved was like, okay,
Yeah.
she's at least here.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. And I went and met you at the airport. And I was like, all right, let's get Renee settled in.
Ugh.
Like,
Yeah, it was tough. Anyways, we made it. And that was the hardest week I've ever experienced personally, jet lag. And I can only imagine the boys, because just the original flight we were on with the red eye, and I actually can sleep on airplanes and so can the boys. The next flight that they
broke
got
it
us
up,
on
yeah.
the morning was, we traveled during our normal waking hours, and
Yeah.
it messed us up.
Yeah.
That's okay. Okay, so Dan, we're talking about resilience. How do you teach this? And independence. How do you teach resilience and independence when there's also paid help in the home?
Well, right off the bat, I'm very clear that Kinsey works for us, not the boys. Okay, that's my rule number one. Okay, I jokingly say to the kids all the time, we're rich, you're not. Okay, we have built this life where we can invest to have people support us. You haven't, you do it. So like, I mean, I'm wild where I won't let, Kinsey flush the toilet. If the toilet wasn't flush, hey boys, come back and flush it.
Yeah.
They do their own laundry. They have to be prepared for school. They have to make sure their devices are charged. They have to make sure that they put their stuff away, I'm just a fan of holding them accountable to the standard that we've communicated, and then literally having to ensure nobody else goes out of their way to help them because they're so freaking cute. I watch Noah out there with the team, like, I can't figure this. And then somebody's like, oh, I'll help you. And I'm like, no, you can't help him because then you're going to do the work for him. And the whole point is that he sits there and figures it out.
He's so good at that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of making sure that they know their responsibilities and that they follow up. To do that, you have to communicate, because they don't like last minute changes. They want to know tomorrow morning, you got to be ready at 8:45. School starts at 9. If you get it done by 12, this is what's going to happen. And if you don't, there's consequences. The other thing is, I encourage her. Like, the example of watching Noah sit there at the door with 3 keys, like these wild skeleton European keys that just you can't figure out which one goes in which door and which way to turn. But let him try. My rule is 3 times. Let him try 3 times. Real tries, not it doesn't work, please help me. No. Try, other way, try another key, and then getting involved, I think, teaches them, 1, not to be a victim, 2, that they can do well. And the other thing I do that I don't think I've ever told you is I over celebrate I celebrate the effort, not the result. So I'm a big fan of saying, hey, it's not if you got this done or not. I want you to know that you spent 3 hours and you followed the timer and you focus and you got a bunch of work done. You might not have gotten all the work you need to get done, but you did 3 hours, and I want to celebrate that. So I'm a big fan of celebrating the progress. I learned this reading a book on child psychology a long time ago, where, when you're climbing a mountain, you might not make it to the top, and most people would focus on that instead of celebrating the fact that you climbed 20,000 feet of elevation or something crazy. You know what I mean? Celebrate the journey. And I think that's a big idea. And then, like I said earlier, I allow my kids to take risks in a safe way.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're on a park and they're playing with kids and their new friends and they're spinning around on the whatever, let them go. If they're trying to figure out if they can wrap themselves around a pole on a swing, obviously I won't let them hurt themselves too bad, because I don't want to go to the hospital. Because that's what it is. It's just the inconvenience of
So
having to go
inconvenient.
deal with it.
You broke your arm.
Yeah,
You've been there
but
before.
that's a big idea. It's just, I think, everybody worries, especially if you came from nothing and you've built something, you worry you're going to raise entitled kids.
Yeah.
And they know what developed their character, which was having not a lot, but yet they live in this more affluent world. So how do I deprive my kids? And the cool thing is, you don't have to deprive your kids of anything. You just got to allow the world to exercise the world on your kids and not protect them so much.
That's it. And we think about safe spaces where especially younger kids as they're developing emotionally, psychologically, and a safe space is home, might be their bedroom, a toy room, whatever it is. But we're teaching them resilience in that a safe space is just them being able to come back to themselves because we've been moving around a lot. And they need to self-soothe. It has nothing to do with maybe the room they're in or the object that they have. And it's tough. It's a big transition for them, but that's the resilience that I feel like we're teaching them.
Heck yeah. I love it. Well, the other question that I got asked to ask you was, we're big fans of measuring progress. When it comes to tracking like measurement or progress, what proves an educator or house manager is actually buying back your time? Like, how do you prove to yourself that there's an ROI in that investment for you?
So for the mother.
Yeah, because like I've seen a lot of people hire help and then do the work before the person even shows up to do the work.
Well, I used to do that.
I'm not saying you.
And
I'm
my
just saying
reasoning behind
I've
that
seen
was
people do this.
Well, you're looking at me, almost winking. So for me, when we first hired a manager, it was like I was creating the environment of what I wanted the outcome to be every day. So I would clean up before they show up, and you're like, why are you doing that? That's why we hired the person. I'm like, I know, but I want them to see what the 10 out of 10 at the end of the day should look like for my home. Anyway, for me, it's less mental load. And I even found myself bumping up against it today when I knew that Kinsey had ordered groceries yesterday. They didn't get delivered. I wasn't sure there was anything for breakfast. I went out for a run, and then the mom mental load panicked. I'm like, I think she's at home. I'm still out. I'll go pick up breakfast. And so the metric for me is less mental load. So I don't have to worry about groceries. I don't have to worry about laundry while we're traveling. These things, all this stuff.
So what happened this morning?
Well, she had breakfast for them.
Yeah, because she owns it.
And I ended up getting 2 croissants because we're in Europe. You have to. It's a daily must to have a croissant.
Did they eat a croissant this morning?
No, but I brought them back.
Noah got a croissant break.
Oh, yeah, of course
so
he did.
Had a whole lot.
He loves his
it.
croissants. Yeah. It's also like fewer distractions during the day. And like, we're still adjusting. So there's still things that are happening. Smooth routines without my input. So it's like they're able to pack up their bag. Like Noah can pack up his bag to come here for the day. I don't have to worry about it because he's going to have everything. I used to be the one that would oversee everything. How come the dirty, so much dirty clothes in your bag, or where are your power chargers? Now it's not my responsibility. It did even happen yesterday when Max was like, hey, Mama, where's my toothbrush? And you were there. And I said, I don't know. I didn't pack it. That's not my responsibility. And even he kind of twitched because I always know where everything is. So he's thinking, oh, crap, I forgot my toothbrush. Turns out it was just packed in a different side of his bag. Another metric for me is less stress during travel. Well, canceled flights can't change that, but having that help with like Kinsey and having her with the boys and making sure
luggage,
deal with so much stuff.
Coordinations.
Yeah.
And
then the big thing for me that I love is like the biggest metric for success is just the tasks being done without me having to ask. Because it's like reading the play, knowing we need stuff, knowing needs to get done.
What I find fascinating is sometimes people hire folks and then just expect them to like perform out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have conversations to train her up.
Oh, yeah.
Like
it's kind of like you have the thing called the camcorder method, right? Yeah. And like creating SOPs.
Yeah.
Well, with Kinsey, it's like I show her once and that's it.
Yeah. But you have to train people.
Oh, yeah. It's constantly. Yeah. It's not once.
I know. It's just fascinating because I see people like hire folks to help and they're like, oh, the person didn't know how to clean. Did you show her what you wanted?
Your expectations. We have family meetings. Like we had one yesterday in the lobby place of our hotel where you, myself, Kinsey, both boys, and then individually had meetings about things that weren't going well.
Well, we celebrate first. First, we always do wins. Yes. Then we talk about issues and we prioritize, and then we work through them. We come up with solutions. We create agreements. I mean, these are
just like CEOing a business.
What a crazy idea.
I know.
Applying the same principles in your team at work, just in your home with the people there. Because to me, it's like the pattern works.
Even with the boys, they're able to just speak their concerns and what's not working for them.
Yeah.
But also giving them that freedom to come up with their own solutions. Us not being the one like, oh, here's the problem. This is how we're going to resolve it.
We never do.
It's like,
I don't think
here's
I've
the problem.
ever told them,
how do you
yeah, you
think
tell
we
me.
should do this?
Yeah, tell me.
Because then they feel more autonomy and confidence when they're actually following through on the thing they said they wanted. So that's my metric. What is your biggest metric for success?
That I'm not interrupted from my schedule.
Ooh,
It's that simple.
got it.
I have a routine.
Yeah.
I've designed it. I put it in my calendar. I teach this stuff. It's called the perfect week. If I'm executing my perfect week and I'm getting calls or text messages from you or Kinsey, then some planning didn't happen, because there's normal and abnormal problems, and an abnormal problem is talking about a problem that we've talked about a solution because somebody missed something. And that means there's a disorganization component of it, or the agreement wasn't made, and like, I'm okay with dealing with problems as long as they're new problems. I don't like revisiting the same thing over and over again because people didn't follow the change that we agreed upon. So that's always a feedback loop for me, is how much disruption is there in my schedule after we've already designed and planned, because there shouldn't need to be a revisiting of that every day.
Got it.
It should be like once a week you tweak.
Yeah. Once a week you tweak.
Once a week you tweak. Well, I'm going to bring this into the last section, I think, which was the world schooling concept and traveling with the team, because that was, people saw that and wanted to ask questions. But my question for you is, what are the trade-offs? Because we could have did a different kind of travel, right? We could have just stayed in a place for 3 months at a time. Instead, we're going 2 weeks, 3 weeks max kind of thing. What do you lose if you don't world school, and what do you guard against when you do? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
So if we don't world school, Dan will be pissed off
I'd be disappointed.
because you've been truly trying to get this for 10 years. You miss, honestly, I think the people who travel are the most well-rounded people. It's creating this global perspective. We study history, but imagine being in the buildings of the places you're studying. Like, it's kind of crazy that even some of the stuff that the kids are reading in their curriculum, they're like, wait a second, we were just walking those streets.
Yep.
Most people don't have that opportunity in that moment.
You know what I was most proud of today on
What's
that?
that?
There's a map of the world on that wall right over there. And I asked Noah to point where we've been, and he nailed everyone. I said, where are we going next? And he nailed everyone. Like, he knows, and then I asked him questions about, like, how long do you think it's going to take us to fly to, I think we're going to Dubai next.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, well, if it took us this long to go here, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're worldly. Like, they actually understand how the world works and the time zones and the unique aspects of those local cities.
Knowing
cool.
where you are on a map is pretty cool. I remember when we landed in Barcelona, I go to Max, yeah, they speak Spanish in Spain. And he's like, oh, I thought we were in Barcelona.
Where did I say I thought I was landing?
Oh, no, you texted me because you and Noah were in London with Kinsey, and I was coming to Barcelona with Max from Paris. And you're like, just landing in Portugal and gonna grab our bags and go and eat lunch. And I'm like, have fun in Portugal. I'm having lunch in Barcelona.
Yeah, sometimes I don't even
I'm
know
like,
where we're
oh
going.
my God, sometimes I don't even know. Anyways, if we don't word school, I honestly think we could get so easily stuck in just the same routine that we had. The boys going to school, us going to the studio, and it's like less dreaming. Like, actually,
and less testing of your assumptions.
well, that's your answer.
Oh,
Mine is like family connection and shared adventure.
Yeah.
Because you're an adventurous person. So you have the adventure, and I love the stories, but I want to do stuff together as a family. And I know it doesn't take world schooling, but there's just more of it this year.
Oh, this year's wild.
It's so wild. Like,
It's
we
like
even went
10 years in 9 months.
I know, oh my gosh, don't tell me that.
It's not 10 years in 9 months.
It's about if we didn't world school, I honestly don't think we would be flexing our curiosity muscle. Now we have just curious all the time.
What
Like,
have you been curious about?
oh my gosh, just everything. Like, even how are these buildings still standing when they're like hundreds of years old? You know, just little things like that. And just cultures, like even in,
Where does flamenco come from?
well, that, but also how did they, like the Spanish, preserve their culture? Like when they were dancing last night, I'm like, where in Canada do we have this? We have the Indigenous events and their celebrations, which are beautiful, but it's not like that's ingrained into our culture as
Yeah, I
like,
think I think I heard them say it was like a UNESCO like protected art.
yeah. So it's fascinating how they were so adamant in protecting that culture. And I thought it was a beautiful thing how they didn't let the outside influence come in and change that. So what do we guard against? We're guarding against burnout and overstimulation. Like one thing for me is like my plan as soon as we get to a new location is always unpack, get settled, make sure the laundry is done or getting done, get the groceries, like the home stuff. Like I like to nest. So I want to make sure that that stuff's taken care of. Keeping our friendships and community ties alive. So whether it's where we're at or calling home more often. And we're just guarding against like outside influence and letting little hiccups like falling downstairs be a thing that can completely side rail our experience.
I will say, watching you, I'll give you some flowers. Like the challenges that have shown up so far in the last 2-3 weeks, and watching you like not let it ruin your week, let alone your day, let alone the hour, is really impressive.
Oh, I've had moments, Dan.
Oh,
Like
that's
this
what I'm
morning
acknowledging.
at
I'm like,
breakfast, eating alone, it hit me. Like there were moments because we had some pretty interesting occurrences on this trip, which I can't wait to talk about one day. But yeah, and like even when those things happened, I'm like 30,000 foot view of what just happened. Am I supposed to cry? Am I supposed to be angry? I don't even know how I'm supposed to feel. So I'm worried that I'm numb. And when I reflect back on it, even at lunch or breakfast this morning, eating alone, I was like almost crying. I realized, oh, I've already done the work to be okay with what happened. And I didn't let what happened let me judge Barcelona or Spain either, because it was like a thing. And this is a really cool slice of heaven.
it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. I think that goes into the resilience thing and the kids also reflecting in these moments too and the challenging parts. I'm even blown away by them, even though it's been really rough for them.
Yeah.
Just see their growth, like physically, emotionally. They've been crushing it.
Yeah, like they sat for that flamenco dancing for an hour and they didn't ask once how much
no.
longer.
Max, at one point near the end, turned to me and he goes, I'm bored.
Oh,
Let's go.
he said that?
And I'm like, it's
Okay.
almost done. He's
Well,
like, okay.
I was impressed.
I know. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
I think
Okay.
the last time we did one of those shows, they lasted 20 minutes.
Yeah, they're also older, more mature.
That's what I'm saying. They're growing.
Noah got to cuddle. He got to sit on both our laps for the entire show,
I'll
so he
take
was
it.
fine.
I'll take it.
Yeah, he's totally fine. He could be anywhere in the world. So for you, also because we're sitting on this cool couch in this really cool Airbnb with your media team here, why do you fly your team here? What problems does it solve that Zoom can't? And how do you keep family connection strong while abroad?
I mean, my rule with teams, I remember, I'll just say this. One time I was training a bunch of people, and one of the CEOs, we were talking about leadership and team building and all that stuff. And I was talking about how you invest in your team. And she just looks at me and she's like, I have an issue. I say, what's that? She goes, I think I hate my team.
Ooh.
Oh. Yeah, like if I didn't like the people I worked with, that would change my whole dynamic. So right off the bat, I've only ever hired people that I admire, that are talented, that are courageous, that are driven, and the truth is we just have a culture, and you know this, like if they weren't, they just wouldn't stick around. And you know,
And some of them don't.
they
because
don't. No, they
fit.
100% don't.
They self-select.
Yeah, they self-select. We have like this antibody of culture. But I just personally, I enjoy developing people. I think leaders create leaders. I'm very proud of the people that are in and around every one of my companies. And I personally prefer to do the work with people in person. That's my style. I've done the remote thing. I've done the distributed thing. I've done the Zoom thing. I get that. But like when I go to the gym this morning with Sam and we spend the whole hour and a half getting a workout in, plus going through a bunch of things that we need to synchronize on, that to me felt like a really good use of my time, both for us as friends, but also colleagues and working through stuff and projects. And I just love to see people friggin' achieve their goals, you know? And everybody that's here wants to travel the world. I mean, it's one of those things when you ask people, like, what are your dreams? It's like, I'd love to travel more. It's like, okay, so if I can enable that by obviously funding the whole trip, and then we get to do some work together, because there's other options. I mean, we could have pre-shot everything. I could have hired a local team and it would have just been Sam. Like, there's a bunch of other options that we could have did, but I'm like, no, I'd rather invest in having the people here. And like, when I look at somebody like Jen, who set a crazy goal to lose like 50 pounds and her reward was Bali.
Yeah.
Like, her life mission is to travel and do work from a laptop. So, hey, why don't you join us for Barcelona? And then her and Alexa are heading off to Rome after this, you know, to go do that. And then, I don't know, I just think I care more about developing people, and I do that in person better. Plus, and this is a big one, and Kinsey mentioned this last night as we were walking, she goes, it's because she saw Noah. I've got this beautiful picture of, you saw Noah talking to Arturo.
Yeah.
Just
so
chat.
Cute.
Yeah. Both of them love to talk. Like 12-year-old Noah is a talker like I've never seen, more than his dad. And Arturo, same thing. You give Arturo a high five and Noah somebody to talk to, and those two people are set for life.
Like, they look like little brothers walking.
Yeah, they did really look like they were from the same family. So
Yeah.
anyways, I took a video of them, and I told Kinsey, I said, you know, I think as a parent, one of my responsibilities is to curate the men that my boys look up to that are not me.
That's true.
Because there's going to be a day, one of those kids, maybe both of them, maybe together, they're going to do something where they know they can't tell me. And I need them to have people's phones on speed dial to be able to call that. I trust their values. I trust their direction. And there's no man, young man, guy, girl on my team.
But also, like, when you look at like Sam, for instance. So our Max loves to edit videos.
Yeah, and Sam's my creative director, and he's been
the boys are being influenced by these people. Even like last night when Alexa was taking pictures and Noah was really intrigued. And so she gave him her camera and he started taking pictures, and she was giving him the basics of good photography. And he was just really interested in it. And it's like, there's little moments where the team that we trust and we love to be with, like I even went for lunch.
You left all afternoon with
I went
the
with
ladies.
Jen and Alexa.
Yeah.
But they're still teaching our kids.
That's essentially what I was going to finish with is I trust them explicitly. Like, and I just can't even imagine having a team where you can't feel like that about everybody, and knowing that my kids are being influenced by other adults that I admire, that I trust to like learn new skills and to navigate the world. And I think the best way to develop your people is have them watch you. That's the other thing. I want them to see what it could look like. Because I don't know if you know this, Renee, but you're an aspiration for those women. Yeah. You know, and us traveling the world, we're examples for other people that look up to us and say, look, I would love to do life the way Dan and Renee are doing it. So we're showing them how to do it. The warts and all the good times. So Renee, if somebody's listening to this right now and they're like on the fence about doing Worldschooling, like it sounds cool, but they're like concerned, what do you say to them?
I mean, I think of mothers that want to do this specifically. The big thing that comes up is a lot of the logistics. And we all say it's got to be so hard. Like that's the first thing. It's like people say it's the dream, but it's hard. And I say, yeah, but the hard is the point. So like in those moments where you've lost luggage, flights canceled, you fall downstairs, it's kind of the point of all this, because then that builds that resilience. The most important thing is reflecting on the really cool things that happen and also recognizing how you grow through those tough moments. It's early on in our adventure, but it has probably been one of the coolest, toughest things that we've ever done. And there's no regrets.
So what do you say to them?
Do it.
What if they say, I get it, Renee, but you're different than me, or you have resources than me? What do you say?
Well, I think if somebody is watching and wants to do it, then yeah, I mean, I'm different than them, but there's something in it that interests them. Do it in small bits. Like that's how we started. We started by going to San Diego for a month at a time. And then we did Austin for a month. It's like little baby steps and tasting what it's going to be like, and then full send.
Oh, it's been a full send.
Yeah. Thanks for sticking to the very end. Before you go, I want to summarize everything that we just talked about. That you need to delegate the tasks and not the relationship. That systems should make room for more connection and togetherness and not the opposite. If a decision steals connection, it's the wrong system. And I got a special treat for you. If you go to reneewarren.com/playbooks, you can download 2 free resources, the quarterly couples retreat and our weekly agenda, where we get to connect. Dan and I talk about how we connect every week and how we schedule quarterly retreats to build the foundation of what has now become how we can world school as a family. So go to reneewarren.com/playbooks for those free treats.